O Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Veda Vibhamine Vyoma Vadvata Devaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. 178. तै शब्दादितया भाति तत्त्वरूपतया न तु इति चेदत एवैतद्वेदवाक्येन बुध्यताम्। आत्मा इत्येव उपासीत. This was the Vidya Sutra. One has to gain the knowledge of Atma. Before that, the limitations and the drawbacks of Virat position, including the Hiranyagarbha, were shown, and they are not worth aspiring for, because these are the stages, that the highest statuses that one can aspire to have in this creation in terms of sadhana sadhya. Do something and gain something beyond the Virat and the Hiranyagarbha. Of course, first one is the Hiranyagarbha status, and number two is the Virat. Beyond these statuses, there is nothing worth aspiring which is higher than this, in terms of you do something and gain something. This is not worth aspiring for. Better you gain the knowledge of Atma. So the Vidya Sutra was given in the Shruti, Atma itteva upasita. Now, what is the meaning of each and every word in this sutra? What is the meaning of entire sentence was discussed. Question comes, you are asking us to gain the knowledge of Atma. And first you have shown us the limitations of Hiranyagarbha and what? Virat. And therefore you are justifying that you should gain the knowledge of Atma. We agree that the limitations that are there in the Hiranyagarbha post and the Virat are true, and therefore they are not worth aspiring for. We agree. But what is the guarantee that we gain the knowledge of Atma and we meet with the same plight as that of Virat and Hiranyagarbha? So with all effort, we discarded the desire for Virat and Hiranyagarbha. With all effort, and you are asking us to develop at our annoyance, to develop Vairagya. This Vairagya, Vedanta, I don't know why it says, is it not? The other day it happened, one Hindi Gita class was there. Swami ji, Bhagavad Gita class. भगवान कृष्ण बार बार में वो विषय को छोड़ो कैसा होता है ये? अगेन एंड अगेन टेलिंग विषय को छोड़ो कैसा होता है? So that is the only thing, to our annoyance it again and again tells. That much of maturity has to be developed, that much of viveka has to be developed. Anyway, so therefore now we do all these things and we gain the knowledge of Atma. What happens? For some time, what it was nice thing. Afterwards, what happened? Suddenly, Atma itself disappeared. What will happen? What is the worth of gaining the knowledge of Atma? So therefore, now he points out that stanza 174. Tadanugrahakaha nyayaha ashanka purvam uchyate. Just now what was told? The sutra, Vidya Sutra, the meaning of each and every word, Ityatma Sutra Shabdarthaha Vakyarthascha Upavarnita, 174. The meanings of the words contained in Atma Itte Upasita. And what, as the one sentence as a whole, what does it mean was explained. Now he says, Nyayaha, reasoning. Why should it be so only? Why Atma only? Maybe we can discard with this thing, but Atma will satisfy us. How do you say so? That Naya, that reasoning behind that is now being explained. How? ashanka purvakam. First the doubt is posed and to which the answer is being given in terms of Atma Ityeva Upasita. This sutra itself contains, that's the job of sutra. A sutra must be the one which has got many, that means many facets of the one and the same thing. Need not be told separately as such. All the facets of what is required to be known or gained has to be contained in that sutra. So therefore that reasoning also is implied in this sutra. So that first the doubt was raised. What is that? Some people say that Atma Vastu may be like this. It is asamsari, etc., etc. But at the practical level, it is what concealed. Vyakrita vyakritabhyam tad vastu tattvam tirohitam. This Atma Tattva may be true as we are described, but tirohitam, it is extinct as it were. It is concealed by what? Vyakrita, the manifest world. Avyakrita, unmanifest world. At totality level. If you take at individual level, Vyakrita, waking and the dream. Avyakrita, sleep. Whatever it may be, totally what? See, have you got even a single split second besides the waking, dream and deep sleep state? In your life, have you got a single moment besides this? Possible, but it is not at our disposal. Don't say not possible. Besides waking, dream and sleep, there is a possibility of a state. What is it? Samadhi. But it is not at our disposal. वो तो बहुत दूर है, उसके बात को छोड़ दो अभी. So now, beside this, not a single split second is available. And in all these, either Vyakrita, manifest in terms of waking and dream, or Avyakrita, deep state, your Atma is concealed. And therefore, what is the use of knowing this Atma? It says, and this is a doubt, Shanka. Answer is given, Atma can never be concealed. Whether you are in the Vyakrita state or Avyakrita state, Atma can never be concealed. That is what he said, 176. Swaswarupam tirodhatum nahi kenapi shakyate. It is impossible for anyone, including Bhagavan, to conceal the Atma Swarupa. The Ishvara Bhagavan means who? Sarvajna, Sarva Shaktiman. Even that Sarva Shaktiman, Ishvara also can't conceal the Atma Swarupa. Sir, you are telling tall things, that's fine, but these Indriya, sense organs and organs of actions are creating havoc. Because of which, okay, you are telling Atma Ekameva Advitiyam. What we perceive is nothing but duality. So you say Jagat is Mithya, but Indriyas report what? Jagat as Satya. So what? How do you say so? You say these Indriyas, sense organs and organs of action, they are perceiving the world. So he says, what is wrong in that? Let them perceive. Visparyatam ihakshani kimakshay aparadhyate. What crime the sense organs and the organs of actions have done, if they register the perception of the world, let them perceive. No. See, what we are bombarded with what? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Nowhere your Atma is available. So therefore you say, these Indriyas, what they do is, they give us the perception of the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha means entire world, never the Atma. That is our problem. He says, that's why he says, Apadayeyu Shabdani Shabdadin Yadi Akshani Tadapi. Even if sense organs and organs of actions are registering the perception of the entire world in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the question is put, Kahanihi Tasya. At least do you agree? One thing, what is it? You are seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. Anyone? Anyone not? Better consult whom? Doctors. Okay. That is not the sphere of Vedanta. Okay. So if something wrong with the sense organ, better you have to consult the doctor. You are perceiving the world, is it not? He says, Kahanihi. What is the loss on that account? So why not? I am not able to find out the Atma. He says, Shabdadehe eva tattvam vibudhyata. You are perceiving the world in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. You have no doubt about it. Now, try to know the real nature of the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha you have perceived. Make use of that perception to arrive at or discern what is that true nature. So, no, Atma itself appears to have Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. I am not able to gain the Atma. Taihi Shabdaditaya Bhati Tattva Rupataya Natu. If you say so, Atma is perceived in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha means as characterized by Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha and not as Atma. He says, Iti Chet Ataha eva. For that very reason, what you do is Vedavakyena Buddhyata. Take recourse to the Upanishadic statement, Vedas here, Upanishadic statement, and try to know the true nature of what you perceive in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Here you have to take help of either Kenopanishad, Pratibodha Viditam Matam. We have seen all this, we have seen last time. Pratibodha Viditam Matam. In and through each and every perception which is presented to us through the Antakarana Vrittis, that Chaitanya which makes you aware of it, of that perception, without which you can never be aware of that perception. You focus your attention on that Chaitanya and not the Nama Rupa of the Vrittis of the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Or what is the famous method of what? Chidjada Viveka, Drigdrisha Viveka, Drishyanuvidha, Shabdanuvidha, all these methods are there. So Vedavakyena, see even Drishyanuvidha, Shabdanuvidha, Chidjada Viveka, Drigdrisha Viveka. Don't think that Drigdrisha Viveka is later this thing. It is from Saraswati Rahasya Upanishad. It is only Vedavakya. So from that Buddhyata. So therefore, perception by itself should not be problem unless you get carried away by the Nama Rupa of the perception without caring to know the very basis, the real nature of perception. That better you know. So now, fine, I will try that also. But after all, Upanishad will give me, there is some knowledge that there is something called Atma. There is Atma and I am high and dry now because I am already a samsari and there is something called as Atma. What is the use of that? Earlier the same Upanishad told me what? There are heavens. So, and I struggled for heaven and you came and told even heaven, leave aside heaven, even the boss of heaven. Who is that boss of heaven? Hiranyagarbha or the Virat. That also is useless. You only told, this was told by who? Vedas only. Now you tell that no, Atma you can say. So therefore, Atma may say something like that, Virat and Hiranyagarbha, but there is something called Atma. One more thing you have added. No, it is your Swarupa. It is your true nature. So therefore it says, Napar 179. Naparokshatvam swaswarupatva hetutaha. Shabdaditattvam yadbodhu swarupam tanna chetaram. Ashankyam. Put Anuswara there. In your book, Anuswara is missing. Ashankyam. Dot you put on that. Ashankyam. Anvaya. Swaswarupatva hetutaha. Swaswarupatva hetutaha. Add Vedavakyagata bodhasya. Vedavakyagata bodhasya. Parokshatvam na ashankyam. Parokshatvam na ashankyam. Yad bodhuhu swarupam tat shabdaditattvam. Yad bodhu swarupam tad shabdaditattvam. Itaram nacha. Itaram nacha. So, what was told here? Try to know the true nature of Shabdadi through Veda Vakya. Now, if the doubt is like this, maybe I know the true nature of Shabdadi, but may not be the Atma Sarupa for that. Because see, after all you are telling Shabdadi Tattva. Tattva means real nature, true nature of Shabdadi. What we are in for? We are not in for knowing what Shabda, etc. We want to know Atma Swarupa. Atma Swarupa is something and your nature of Shabdadi is something different. Why are you unnecessarily adding something more now? No. The true nature of Shabdadi itself is what? Atma Swarupa. Don't have doubt about that. Swaswarupa Hetutaha. Swaswarupa Hetutaha means Atma being the one being one's own Swaprakasha Swarupa nature, of being the nature of Swaprakasha. So Swaswarupa Hetutaha, on account of Hetu, the reason that Atma is Swaswarupa, one's own true nature. And what type of true nature it is? Swaprakasha, Anubhava Swarupa. Swaprakasha, Anubhava Swarupa. What do they convey, these words? Atma is Swaprakasha, you say. Anubhava Swarupa, you say. What do they convey? To know or experience that thing else is required. On its own, it is known. It is a very knowledge principle. It is a very experience principle. You don't need anything. For any other experience, what is required? Any jada to be known means what is required? Indriyas plus antakarana. Here, this is the one which makes the indriyas and antakarana know or experience. Itself doesn't need any other upadhi, any other karana it doesn't need. Just as to see a non-luminous object you need the light, but to see the lamp or the sun you don't need the light because prakasha swarupa. Here prakasha means jnapti, knowledge, not in terms of light here, jnapti or anubhava. So itself is knowledge principle, itself is the principle of experience. So therefore, Swaswarupa Hetutaha, Atma being one's own true nature, which is Swaprakasha. Therefore, Adhyara we have taken Vedavakya Gata Bodhasya, the knowledge that is gained through Vedavakyas. What Vedavakyas? What is the context here? What is the context? Shabdadi Tattvam Bodhyatam, the Vedavakyas which reveal you the true nature of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha perceived by you. So those Vedavakya Gata Bodhasya, it says, Parokshatvam na ashankyam. Please don't doubt that knowledge gained through this Vedavakya is paroksha, means remote. Remote in the sense as something different from my true nature, different from Atma. So don't doubt that. So Vedavakyas which are ascertaining the Shabdadi Tattva will give the knowledge of something different from your Swarupa, because Atma is your Swarupa. And how do you say so? The answer is given. Yad Bodhuhu Swarupam. Whatever the true nature of Bodha, with that Bodha knower, perceiver of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, the one who hears, sees, touches, tastes, smells, these, that Shrota, the Drashta, Manta, all these, the perceiver or knower of all these. So Yad Bodhu Swarupam Tat Shabdadi Tattvam. Think of it. The true nature of the perceiver itself is the Shabdadi Tattva, the true nature of what? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. How is it? Is it required to be explained? Do homework, okay? How Shabdadi Tattva is Bodhu Swarupa? should be able to do that. Otherwise, what? You are not exposing to Vedanta, you are listening to Kathas. So you now tell me how he said, Bodhu Swarupa. The true nature of Bodha is the same as what? Shabdadi Tattvam. The true nature of Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. Yeah, equation he has given. You have to prove the equation. Have you studied algebras? In algebras, no, two complicated equations are given. This equal is what you have to do, not scratch your head. Trash the equation on this side, trash the equation on this side. What you get is what? Same thing. But as they are presented, they appear to be what? No head or tail, nothing is, you can't connect it all. Now come on. First let us see Bodhu Tattvam, Bodhu Swarupam. With a Buddha. Seer. Seer. Seer of what? Form. No. Buddha is knower. No, let us say Drashta. Or let's take Buddha one, okay, let us say, in general, okay. Knower. Buddha is knower. Knower, who is that knower? As it obtains, who is the knower? I know, you say. When you say I know, what you refer to? That I, does it refer to Chaitanya Rupa Atma? Or that I refers to the body, embodiment? Or the I refers to the embodiment which is endowed with Chidabhasa and is able to perceive, etc. Three possibilities. Whom does it refer to? I with the I as Chaitanya Rupa Atma, not possible. Why? To know Upadhi, not there. I as mere embodiment which is inert in nature with our gross and subtle bodies, not possible, being inert can't. So therefore one who is endowed with Chidabhasa. Who is that guy? Otherwise called Ahankara. What is that Ahankara? An Antakarana Vritti which takes the embodiment as I and which has got in itself the Chidabhasa. Is it not? Now, Bodhu Swarupam, come on, thrash that Ahankara. In that Ahankara, what is that aspect which always remains and what is the aspect which comes and goes? Is Ahankara a permanent entity? An entity which is subject to avikriya? Is it? Is it nishkriya? Why? In sleep, where was the Ahankara? No. Is it not? So in Samadhi also Ahankara is not going to be that, means one who comes and goes. What is that aspect in Ahankara which comes and goes? Vritti, Chaitanya aspect, always there. What do you mean by Tattva, reality? That which is always there. In Ahankara, Bodha, what is always there? Chaitanya. So therefore, Bodhu Swarupam is what? Shuddha Chaitanya. One side of the equation we have thrashed. Now we have to thrash the Shabdadi Rupa equation, that side. Now Shabdadi Rupa. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That is a Shabda. You have heard what I am speaking. I am not asking whether you have understood or not. Don't worry now. Okay. So therefore, you are hearing me. You are hearing. How do you hear me? Through your ears. How what ears report what I speak, the sound. So ears report to your mind, Antakarana, the Shabdakara Antakarana Vritti. And that Shabdakara Antakarana Vritti is made known, gets illumined by the Chidabhasa that is there appearing in that Antakarana Vritti. So therefore, if that Chidabhasa is not there, Shabdakara Antakarana Vritti by itself being inert will not be able to, you will not be able to know it just as an object in the darkness. So this makes you know. Now, in this Shabdakara Antakarana Vritti, which has come now, earlier it was there? No. Afterwards it will go. But the Chidabhasa is there when it has come. But from where the Chidabhasa has come? Chaitanya, which if Chaitanya is not there, Chidabhasa is not possible. Now, in this Shabdakara Antakara Vritti, Chaitanya is all along, Vritti comes and goes. Now it is Shabdakara, next moment it can be Rupakara Antakara Vritti, Rasakara Antakara Vritti, it may differ. Earlier this Shabda it was, afterwards some other Shabda it will be. I am going on talking, as I go on talking the sound also differs, so it may be different Shabdakara Vritti, like that. But Chaitanya is one and the same. Now Shabdadi Tattva, what is now? Chaitanya. Chaitanya is equal to Chaitanya. This is how he says, Bodhu Swarupam Yat, that itself is what? Tat Shabdadi Tattvam. Therefore, you are in to know what is the Atma Swarupa. So, but our problem is what? These Indriyas are bombarding us with the perception. He said, don't worry. Are you perceiving the world or not? Yes. Now inquire the very nature of the perception. You will arrive at what? Same Atma Swarupa, which is the real nature of Bodha. Don't think something else you are going to gain because of Shruti Vakyas. No. Therefore he says, that one, Itaram Nacha. The Bodhu Swarupam itself is Shabdadi Tattvam, or Shabdadi Tattva itself is Bodhu Swarupa, not anything other than the Swarupa of Bodha. The Shabdadi Tattva, the true nature of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha perceived by us is not at all distinct or different from the true nature of Bodha. So therefore, don't think the Veda Vakyas will give you the knowledge of something different from Atma Sarupa. I want to know Atma, but what am I going to do with by knowing the nature of Shabdadi Tattva? Don't have such doubt, both are one and the same. But sir, we have a problem. What is the problem? What you have to do now? Find out Shabdadi Tattva. Shabdadi Tattva, the true nature of the Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha perceived by us. How do you perceive Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha? No doubt to begin with, with the help of the Indriya. But finally where? Mind, Antakarana, no? Now tell me, you only tell us one thing. Vedanta repeatedly tells us, this mind or Antakarana is like a musical chair. Only one at a time. And what does this mind do? It is perceiving the Shabdadi, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. How can this mind know your Tattva of Shabdadi, which you are telling as the Swarupa of Bodha? How is it ever possible? Two things this mind can't do. Therefore what? Therefore we can't know Shabdadi Tattva. We can go up to Shabdadi. That much we are doing. Every moment by moment we are doing with Shabdadi. But Tattva is not possible because the mind is bogged down with the Shabdadi. It has no capacity to know the Tattva because only one thing at a time it can do. Very good. At least you accept that one thing at a time. Okay, you can alternate it. That's all. One thing at a time is when you are perceiving, maybe Tattva is not possible. Next moment, what can you do? Keep aside Shabdadi and know the Tattva. Only one thing you can do. It is possible. Ekasyapyatra chittasya sahakari vibheditaha Kramena grahanam tattve shabdadau cha kuto nahi Ekasya api atra chittasya sahakari vibheditaha Kramena shabdadau tattvecha grahanam kutaha nahi says if your problem is the mind can take to only one thing at a time, Certainly it is so, and let it take also, it can't do otherwise. The same mind also can take to Tattva Grahana. The mind which has earlier taken to Shabdadi perception, next moment can take to the Tattva Grahana with the help of Veda Vakyas. That is possible, he says. Ekasya api atra chittasya. Atra means in this context of knowing the Shabdadi Tattva, which itself is the Swarupa of Bodha, the Atma Swarupa. Ekasya chittasya, of one and the same chitta, the antakarana, the mind, sahakari vibheditaha. Give up. Atma doesn't permit you to enter at all. So you are in between aside, such a thing will not happen at all. So therefore, one after the other, certainly you can take, not only one after the other, to take to Shabdadi Tattva with the help of Veda Vakya. First what you should have? Shabdadi Grahana, perception. No problem at all. You see, always there. Any problem in perception? No problem at all, always there. So therefore, make use of that by applying the Veda Vakyas, analyze, don't take the things for granted. What happens? In spite of having the Shabdadi always with us, we are not able to arrive at Shabdadi Tattva. Do you know why? Always carried away by what? Nama Rupa of what is perceived. Always preoccupied in the quality, this and that, raga, dvesha, with respect to what we perceive. Vedas, Shastra says, just have little leisure, okay? Keep them aside and prove that. You can understand now why Vairagya, etc., Viveka, Vairagya, why need to be told? Because the mind gets so preoccupied, mind is not available to make use of the Veda Vakyas, which can give you the knowledge of the Shabdadi from that standpoint. So that is, it is possible for if little leisure or that little Viveka is applied. So that the case. So what was the doubt? Atma is concealed, tirohita, by Vyakta and Avyakta is not possible because in and through Vyakta and even in sleep also, you Sushupti Tattva you find out. What makes you experience the absence of everything, that itself is your Bodhu Swarupam. There also you make use of that. In this manner, Atma is never concealed. So is always there. So now let us see. Iti shankottaram proktam etat sutrena sutritam. Swarupavachatma shabdadati rodhana bhasanat. Iti etat sutrena proktam shankottaram sutritam. Sutritam. Add katham atirodhana bhasana. See, swarupavachatma shabdat, then atirodhana bhasana. Two words are there. Now sutritam, afterwards katham you add, then take atirodhana bhasana. Atirodhana bhasana. Swarupavachatma shabdat. Swarupavachatma shabdat. Add idam shakyam bhavati. Idam shakyam bhavati. Iti. So iti means what? Shanka and Uttara, a dialogue was there, question and answer was there. What was the question? Atma is Tirohita by Vyakta and Avyakta. Answer was no, it is not so. Maybe we do accept the perception of Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, but that itself is not able to conceal the Atma. How? Make use of the Veda Vakyas and discover. You will find the Swarupa of Bodha as the same as the Swarupa Tad Shabdadi Grahana. So now, this question and answer is implied in this sutra. Which sutra? Atma itteva upasita. This is a iti. Iti means what is seen in terms of this question and answer. Etat sutrena. By this Atma itteva upasita. By this sutra. Proktam shankottaram sutritam. Proktam, already told. From where told? From stanza 175 to 180, what we have discussed so far. 175, the question was post Shanka, and step by step he has answered. Now, it is Proktam, what we have seen in 175 to 180. So, now this question and answer, Etat Sutrena, by this sutra, Sutritam. Sutritam means is suggested or told briefly in an aphoristic way. As a sutra, in a very brief manner, this sutra has suggested this question and answer. Are you able to find this question and answer in the Atma Iti Upasita? He says, Atma Iti Eva Upasita implies this question and answer. Even if you take any powerful microscope, you will not be able to find out. Katham, how do you say? Look, Atma Itya Upasana, we accept. The question and answer you have seen was told was accept. But how are you to know that in this sutra that is contained there? How do you say so? Katham, you say that is why it is sutra. Okay. That is why it is sutra. It is a, how is it so? Listen. Say, Atirodhana bhanat swarupa vachyatma shabda. The word Atma is told, no? That word Atma itself has got this. How come? Do you remember the derivation of Atma given, seen so far? Yachapnoti yadadatte yachati vishayaniha yachasya santato bhavaha tasmadatmeti kathyate. Somewhere seems to be a little familiar, is it not? So, did you hear that? Not only see, he has elaborated at length for each definition. He has devoted two stanza. Which was the this one stanza? (157). Yachapnoti yadadatti yachati vishayaniha yachasya santato bhavaha tasmadatmeti katyate. Now he says, now if your question is, how is it so? Please refer to the word Atma used in this sutra. Okay, we know Atma. But Atma means what? What was the definition given? These 4 definitions are given, no? In that, you have to take to the last definition. Yachasya santataha bhavaha. The nature of Atma, which is santata, means what? Always there, never extinct. Agree? That shows Tirodhana is not possible. Atma cannot be concealed. So therefore it says, Atirodhana bhasana. So the one that incessantly shines. It should be taken this way. See, first unit is Tirodhana bhasana. You know what is Tirodhana? Extinction. Bhasana is appearance or cognition. Tirodhana bhasana means that which is cognized or which shines interruptedly. At times it is there, at times it is not there. That is what is bhasana. Experience is there, cognition is there, appearance is there, but comes and goes. That is tirodhana bhasana. Na tirodhana bhasana means that which is never subject. Bhasana is there, cognition is there, existence is there, appearance is there, but no extinction whatsoever. Tirodhana is not there. Therefore, na tirodhana, that is tirodhanena bhasanam na, is uninterruptedly that which always shines. That one that shines uninterruptedly means that always that one shines, incessantly that shines. That is what, on account of that, atirodhana bhasanat, say, swarupavachya atma shabda. The swarupa is described by the word atma, and that atma in its definition has got what? Atirodhana bhasana. How? By this. Yajasya santataha bhavaha. The fourth definition of stanza 157. Actually it is from Purana. It is quoted not by author himself. It is from Linga Purana. So therefore, that one shows that whether Vyakruta or Avyakruta, Atma is never extinct, always there. And your doubt was what? Maybe I am ready to give up Hiranyagarbha post, Virat post. I would like to take to Atma, but Atma suddenly disappears. What will happen to me? Na tirodhana. Why? It is Atma. Why Atma? Atma itself means that which is never subject to extinction. That is yachasya santato bhavaha. Now see, one word Atma has got this much of import in that. So don't get discouraged. Oh, Atma chale jayega. If it was chale jayega, the word Atma itself will not be there. Atma word will not be used because Atma means which is always going to be there without any change, without any this. Maybe the creation comes and goes, but that always is bound to be there. So with this much, the Vidya Sutra is over. The meaning of the words in the Atma Itya Upasita was given. Then entire Vakya, what does it mean? Why it should be so, that also justified. Now author proceeds to the next portion of the same mantra. See, we are still doing 147, okay? Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 147 is still continuing. The next portion he takes for discussion. What is next portion? It is like this. Atra hi ete sarve ekam bhavanti. 147 only, Brihadaranyaka 147. The next phrase is Atra hi ete sarve ekam bhavanti. Atra means where? Atmani, in Atma. He is well known, the Shruti. Elsewhere also in the Upanishad we find this. What do we find? Ete, these. What are these? Prana, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi. All these means, in short, entire creation. In short, entire creation. Ete, sarve, all. What happens? Ekam bhavanti. Ekam bhavanti means they merge, they become one with Atma in the sense abhinnatam pratipadyanti. Ekam bhavanti abhinnatam pratipadyanti. Gain the identity. Means they discover themselves to be identical with who? Atma. Who? They means who? Prana, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi, in short, entire Jagat. Entire Jagat, because is one with Atma, it is not different from Atma. This is what the next phrase of the Shruti is going to tell. The author is discussing now. Why should Shruti say this? Shruti has got something in mind. So when Atma itte upasita was told, so though we don't have, Shruti anticipates us to have some doubt. If you don't have, Shruti will create and then you will look up and down. Okay? So some doubt is possible which we have not discerned, but Shruti is aware. So when Atma itte upasita, because why? Shruti is also aware what it has taught to us earlier, which we have conveniently forgotten. That because we have forgotten what was told earlier, the doubt is not figuring in our mind now. So if we just remind ourselves what was told earlier, the doubt is bound to come. In anticipation of that doubt, the answer is going to be given by who? Shruti. So Shruti expects us to, that means, be aware of this doubt in light of what was told earlier by Shruti Upanishad itself, and to which the Shruti is giving the answer. Now the question is, we don't have doubt. Best thing is what? No. So author is not going to leave you. He first gives, this is the doubt. Why that doubt should come? There is reason in the very Shruti. And the Shruti gives the answer now to that doubt. So what is that doubt is told in stanza 182 and the first line of 183. Then in 183, the Shruti phrase is introduced and the answer continues up to the first line of 188. So that means the question that is dispelled by the phrase, which phrase? Atra hi ete sarve ekam bhavanti of Shruti. That question is posed in 182 and first line of 183. And then how this Shruti phrase, Atra hi ete sarve ekam bhavanti, is answer to these questions will be elaborated. Now let us see what is the question that is possible. Why that question should come? Nanu pranadi yuktatma bodho karsnena dushitaha. So karsne dosha shuddhatma bodhe kasmanna sambhave. Anvaya as it is. Nanu pranadi yuktatma buddha akarsnena dushitaha saha akarsnya doshaha shuddhatma bodhe kasmat na sambhavet. So he says, Nanu, doubt is like this. Pranadi yuktatma bodha akarsnena dushita. Sir, yourself, not only yourself but Shruti also, has told us earlier, if you know any of these Atma appears as Prana, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi, etc. Who? Atma itself. But if you know Atma as any one of these, you have not got the knowledge of entire Atma. You only have told, is it not? Where did you say that? Pranadyuktatma bodhaha akarsnena. Akarsnena means apurnatvena. Apurnatvena means as incomplete, by incompleteness. Knowledge of prana, mana, etc., any of these or few of these as what? As an incomplete knowledge, dushitaha. So it was, that is pointed out as something with a defect. So where it was pointed out, you can take to stanza 154. In 154 it was shown, Pranadikritam madhe ekaikam yas samikshate nasa janatya krutsnatvad etadikshita vastunaha. So that's the earlier Atma itself appearing drashta, shrota, manta, pranita, vakta, jnata, etc. was told. Atma having different what? That is statuses. And if you know any one of these status of Atma as Atma, foul. That is not the knowledge of Atma. So for that, the Shruti statement was like this. Tani asya etani karmanamani eva sahayaha ataha ekaikam upaste nasaveda akrusnaha hi eshaha ataha ekaikena bhavati. Same thing with the context of 154 we have seen the Shruti. All these, what are those? Drashta, Shrota, Manta, Sprashtra, Pranita, Vakta, Jnata, etc. All these, Tani, Karmamani. Karmanamani means functional names of this. For example, you as the speaker, seer, etc. You as the individual is one and the same. Player, etc. But depending on different actions, you have got different statuses. But suppose a player, he is a player, but he is a great scholar also. So you don't know the individual totally as such if you know him as only a player. So like that, if knowledge of any one of these statuses or functions that are attributed to Atma is taken as Atma, he says what? So that is not complete knowledge. That's for sahayaha ataha ekaikam upaste nasaveda akrusnaha. We have seen this Shruti quotation. His akrusna means he is incomplete, his knowledge is incomplete. That is what 154 shows. Pranadikritam madhe, in terms of these functions, if any one of them is taken as Atma Sarupa, nasa janati, he doesn't know the Atma, he doesn't have the knowledge of Atma. Why? Say, etad viikshita vastunaha means by this prana, etc., what you see is what? Akrusnatvad, apurnatvad. I hope you have understood the question. You had told us knowledge of any one of these is not the knowledge of Atma. Why? You know only part, not complete. Agreed? With the same yardstick, the doubt says, now you are talking of knowledge of what? Atma. And what Atma? Atma free from all upadhis and all vikriyas of indriyas and the perception, etc. means you have known Atma and not the pranadi anatma, complete or incomplete. Earlier, you had known only particular aspects of Atma and therefore you told, Shruti also told, it is incomplete knowledge. Now you are knowing only Atma to the exclusion of all upadhis and not only upadhis, the functions through the upadhis. Is it not incomplete? So therefore what? Both are same only. So you are trying to sell your goods, is it not? Why not stick to our own earlier things only as such? Why come here? So therefore say, dushitaha saha akarsnya doshaha. That defect of incomplete knowledge. That defect of incomplete knowledge. What incomplete knowledge means what? Knowing one aspect to the exclusion of the remaining features or aspects of Atma. Shuddhatma bodhe. What is Shuddhatma bodhe? In the bodha, the knowledge of Atma, that is Shuddha. Shuddha means nirupadhika. Shuddha means not simply pure, nirupadhika. So Shuddhatma bodhe. In the bodha, the knowledge of Atma, that is Shuddha means nirupadhika. Nirupadhika means upadhis are not there, functions of upadhis are not, that much you are not knowing. Only you are knowing only nirupadhika Atma. Kasman na sambhave. Why should not that defect apply here also? Why? Look, you have discarded the upadhis and only known mere Atma to the exclusion of upadhis. There you are sticking to some upadhis to the exclusion of other and the nirupadhika Atma. If that was incomplete, this knowledge also should be equally incomplete. Kasmana sambhave. So this is the doubt. Though you don't have, there is room for such doubt. Why you could not have doubt? Because we have forgotten. What we have forgotten? That akarsnya dosha we have already forgotten. So the author reminded us. So if Shruti has said it is incomplete knowledge, this also you are knowing Atma nirupadikataha, not sopadikataha. Upadis are left out. Therefore this knowledge also should be incomplete. This is the doubt for which the Shruti portion that is going to come. Atra hi ete sarve ekam bhavanti. This gives the answer he introduces here first. So to dispel this doubt, Shruti says this, Atra hi ete sarve eki bhavanti. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayan